When you think of Rick and Morty, you don't think, oh yeah, that silly little show with the most predictable and ordinary plots. You think of the time that Rick turned himself into a pickle, or when they split time into 500 million segments. You don't think of dull moments because Rick and Morty isn't dull. However, the most outlandish and experimental episodes are, oddly enough, the ones that often feel the most dull. The episodes I'm referring to are the clip show episodes. These started with Ricksty Minutes, the first Interdimensional Cable episode, and then continued all the way till Rick Fending Your Mort in season 7. There's one per season, and these episodes are characterized by their lack of a central plot and instead featuring a series of micro-stories delivered in rapid succession, each more outlandish and peculiar than the last. Take the first two Interdimensional Cable episodes, for example. We watch Rick and Morty watch bizarre TV shows that have nothing to do with the overarching story of Rick and Morty. Then in season 3, we got Morty's Mind Blowers, which showed Morty reliving a series of erased memories. Small, self-contained snippets that didn't affect the main narrative, but were presented to the audience for the first time. This trend continued with episodes like Never Ricking Morty, which is the Story Train episode, Mortyplicity, which is the Decoy Family episode, Full Meta Jack Rick, which is the sequel to the Story Train episode, and then Rick Fending Your Mort in season 7, which is the one with all the observers. These episodes are the ones where the writers can be the most creative. Yet, despite them being so creatively free, why do most of these episodes feel so dull and forgettable? All of these episodes fall below the show's average rating, and some by quite a significant margin. Why is that? Sure, most of them are funny, but that clearly isn't enough. If humor alone were sufficient, these episodes would be rated higher. Let's take a closer look at each of these 7 episodes to see if we can figure out why they all fall short. So, the first 2 Interdimensional Cable episodes are where it all began, and they're funny and entertaining, but they're not exactly examples of exceptional writing. The second episode in particular feels just like a copy of the first one, although it is bolstered by the fact that it has the hilarious B-plot involving Jerry being asked to donate a very specific organ, if you catch my drift, which is pretty funny to be fair. Overall, these episodes just rely on rapid fire stimulation. Even when they're funny, it's usually just for a few seconds at a time and then only for a handful of moments per episode. Okay, so what about Morty's Mind Blowers? You know, season 3's clip show episode. Yeah, it's okay, I guess. I mean, it's kind of funny, but it's not particularly memorable. Other than the booger AIDS bit and a handful of Morty's lost memories, there's not much in this episode that sticks. An episode that's forgettable is bound to be considered mediocre. Never Ricking Morty from season 4 was a bit of an improvement, I would say, but it still wasn't anything mind-blowing. See what I did there? You know, because season 3's clip show episode's called Morty's Mind Blowers. Okay, yeah, anyways. Never Ricking Morty is very obviously supposed to be chaotic, but this doesn't end up helping the episode because it's just so all over the place that it's hard to latch on to anything that's truly interesting or funny. That said, Jesus appearing in a Rick and Morty episode will always stick with me, and yeah, that was really unique. I want to reiterate that an episode being funny doesn't mean that it's bad, but I just think that when Rick and Morty is taking itself seriously, it also happens to be very, very funny, but also very, very good. I made a whole video talking about this, examining episodes like the Ricklantis Mix-Up, which is a very, very funny episode, but it's also very, very deep, and it has a 9.8 out of 10 on IMDb, making it the highest rated episode in the show. So if you want to check that out, the link is up in the corner. Mortyplicity from season 5 breaks this pattern because that episode goes incredibly hard, and I love it with all of my heart. It's an exception to this trend. But then there's Full Meta Jack Rick in season 6, and it's got Previous Leon, that loser of a writer, and then Jesus and Storylord return. And in my opinion, this episode just freaking sucks. While it is rated a 7.8 out of 10 on IMDb, which, isn't a bad rating, that's 1.3 stars below the show's average rating, which is, 9.1. 7.8 plus 1.3. This episode is just kind of annoying, somehow more confusing than the Story Train episode that it's a sequel to, and then it's just nowhere near as funny as the Story Train episode, which isn't even that funny to begin with. Rick Fending Your Mort, though, in season 7 is really funny, although the different types of guns bit kind of carries it, and to be fair, that bit is one of the greatest bits in the show, but without it, this episode is just kind of lackluster, like all the others. Now, to be clear, these episodes are not bad by any means, so don't go calling me pretentious in the comments for hating on them a little bit. They just aren't very special, which is arguably worse than being terrible. At least a terrible episode is memorable. We all remember the episodes where the very specific cells of Morty turn into monsters, you know what I'm talking about, or the abysmal Rise of the Numbericons the movie episode, which doesn't even have Rick, so it's like, how is that episode going to be good? But we're talking about those episodes, we remember them. The curse of being average is being forgotten, overlooked, and deemed unimportant. Terrible episodes, at the very least, provide some perspective to the show's great moments. moments. So what makes these 7 clip show episodes so average? Except of course for Mortyplicity, and the reason that one is so good is precisely why the others aren't. As I've already hinted, it's the lack of anything to latch onto that makes these episodes not as good as the others. This is a tough problem because the whole point of a clip show episode is to lack a central focus and instead offer a collection of quick, disconnected bits. But Mortyplicity overcomes this paradox. It's funny, unique, creative, and has a central story that's interesting, all while fitting the clip show format. Now I know what you're thinking, how is Mortyplicity a clip show episode? It's definitely the farthest from a traditional clip show episode, but there's no other episode in season 5 that even remotely fits the bill of a clip show episode. The constant switching between decoy families, and then of course the twist at the end where we find out that none of the families even mattered because they aren't the real family of Rick and Morty, just proves that this episode is the clip show episode for that season. It might not be as obvious as, Interdimensional Cable or Morty's Mind Blowers, but it is definitely the clip show episode, I promise. Although the issue in identifying this episode as a clip show one is what makes it so good. So is the solution to get more really good episodes just to abandon the clip show concept altogether? Or maybe we should just create episodes that vaguely resemble a clip show concept? Unfortunately, there's no clear answer. The clip show episodes are definitely funny, and I wouldn't want to replace them with something else entirely. But at the same time, they're not episodes I'd rewatch frequently, especially when compared to the great episodes surrounding them. Perhaps we just have to accept them for what they are, enjoyable in the moment, but ultimately forgettable in the long run. But then again, maybe these episodes are just simply amalgamations of rejected plot ideas, recycled into 30-second clips to fill up space on a train full of stories. But what do you think about the clip show episodes? Are they the best episodes ever, or should they be sent into the infinite void of space, never to be seen or heard of again? Let me know what you would do differently with these episodes, because there's just a lot of room to grow. They have so much potential, yet they never really seem to fully live up to it. Thanks for watching, and as always, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to subscribe and smash the like button. Happy New Year! May 2025 be the year that you change the world, because I know you're capable of it. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.